Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we have round 4 of the PRA Stock Series Elite Series here at the High Speed Ring. Today you can see I am running the Hooters livery. If you did not know, I am sponsored by Napa and Hooters, not IRL in-game, unfortunately. But it's going to be 40 laps around this super fast course here at High Speed, my apologies. Qualified in P12. Kind of going to run you through the little qualifying process. So technically, they consider this a oval track, which I'm not really sure why they did that. So the way that we qualified is we had 2 heat races, and then two 10-minute heat races, and wherever you finished there, you would be qualified for the main race. So qualified P12, didn't have a very good heat race. Hopefully we were able to get some time back, hopefully make up some positions and have a decent race. If you have ever raced here, you will know that it's a very tricky track. A little bit, or something else to note out, is they did turn on wall penalties. That way we didn't do a whole bunch of wall riding. Because there were races earlier in the week where people just wall rided the entire course and wasn't really fair. So they did implement that. In my opinion, they implemented kind of a little harshly, but we will get onto that. So as we come to the end of the pace lap, you will see that again we are qualified in the P12. We did have one of the Elite Series members have to cancel and not participate in this race, so you will see Tyro actually came up from the, I believe it is the Sportsman Series, to take his place. So we got 13 runners here. Hopefully we can have a good race, get a good launch off the line, and hopefully the strategy can go our way. We are going to be doing a 2-stop strategy here, so hopefully we can get a good start and possibly look for really good, decent points, maybe even the win. So on that note, let's get into the race. But as we come up to the line, it is going to be green, green, green here at the High Speed Ring. Automatically going to gain a position on the outside, maybe even 2, 3, 4, as we get a pretty good launch, get the power down a lot earlier than other drivers. As you can see, we have already made up at least 4 to 5 positions, maybe looking for some more overtakes into, I guess, technical turn 2. Got Root on the inside. Hopefully we can hold him off. Got a little bit of contact as he kind of pushes us a little bit wide. We're going 3 wide in this row. Hopefully we can make it through this corner nice and easy. A little contact by Tyro. Also made a very good start on his end, but we were able to tuck in behind him. But as we come through over the bridge, we're actually going to swoop onto the inside and maybe look for a move on the inside as well, as Tyro completely outbrakes himself. Luckily he wasn't able to make any contact with any other driver. Unfortunately we make a little contact with Saunders. Tried to do a little bit of a switchback here, but unfortunately he parked it in the middle of the road, so we had to back off a little bit. So within the first half lap, we are up into P9, maybe looking for an overtake into P8 through this hairpin, I guess you can call it, but very banked hairpin. Trying to get a decent run. We didn't get the best of run through this corner all race. It was very difficult to get the power down, especially with tire wear on. But as you can see, we are well within the slipstream of Millie. Also keeping an eye on Root behind. As you can see, he is within our slipstream but a little bit, but it looks like we are starting to kind of back him off a little bit. But as you can see, looking up ahead of us on the road, we have our teammate Shorts battling for the win and a potential podium, but still very early days on this race. But as you can see, coming into turn 2, you can actually see a bunch of people wall riding, which personally I don't like, but I mean it's there. If it benefits them, it benefits them. But anyways, going over the bridge one more time, as you can see, we have Tyro up in the lead, or up in the middle of the pack, and he makes major contact with our teammate Shorts and actually pushes him off the track. And during that race, he did apologize instantly. So good sportsmanship there, as we try to do a little bit of an undercut on Millie, trying to get the power down a little bit better than he can. But unfortunately, we are actually going to have to tuck in behind him through the last few corners onto lap 4, maybe looking for an overtake as we kind of sneak on the inside. But again, nothing there, kind of trying to keep the speed up as much as possible. But as you are going to see, We have a root behind us, had a massive run, and he's going to come flying up beside us. But unfortunately, with the slipstream being so strong here in PRA, he's actually going to have to tuck back in and possibly look for an overtake into turn 2, I'm guessing. I'm just going to call turn 2, if that makes any sense. This is turn 1, turn 2. Anyways, back to the action. It looks like we got a possible move into the lead, maybe looking for another move for us heading into this corner, trying to get through it nice and easy as there's major contact and a humongous accident, and make some major contact with Tyro too. I came in there a little too hot and I accidentally threw him up against the wall. I did apologize. That was just a bad corner for everyone on that lap. But we have gained a few positions out of it, so we're going to try and keep the momentum up and carry this speed through the rest of the race. As we come through the tunnel, it looks like Millie makes a little contact with the wall, and we actually get a pretty nice run through that corner, and we actually make a double overtake on lap 4 here at the high-speed rating. Hopefully we can hold off in P5 and keep Millie en route behind us, trying to get the speed consistent through this corner. As you can see, looks like maybe Millie was running the wall behind us. But as we come through onto lap 5, we're going to try and gain some more positions, as there another wreck in front of us, as Rum Runner actually has some contact with, I believe it was Saturn or one of the top 3s. But currently we are P4, but here's where the race gets a little bad for us. On lap 6, we get a 1.5 second penalty. Pretty harsh for the wall contact, because we're just going to lose so much more time than 1.5 seconds. But we have Root coming up behind us well within our slipstream. He's going to pull out, as well as Sparky. I wanted to dip down behind Root, but I didn't want to take Sparky out. But here we are, finally in the slipstream of the 2 drivers that pass us, the 2 Canadians of this Elite Series, the only 2 Canadians. Sorry, there's 3, my apologies. But coming into turn 2, possibly looking for an overtake, as they looks like a pretty decent run. Even though Sparky makes contact with the wall, he's actually able to carry that speed. And hopefully, as we come over the bridge, we can spot our braking point and maybe make an overtake. But with that 1.5 second penalty, it's not going to really matter. We're just going to get these positions right back. But as you can see, actually, Rum Runner behind us is going to be gaining on us. But as we come into the tunnel, we are going to pull off to the left-hand side and serve our penalty, which is going to cost us 1, 2, and 3 positions. That was, like I said, we lost more than 1.5 seconds worth of time for that penalty. It's such a simple penalty on the wall. 1 lap later, coming through the same exact corner, we are going to get it all wrong and make contact with the wall yet again and get a 3-second penalty. I have no words. I saw guys through that same corner taking that exact same line I did, and they didn't get a penalty. But jumping forward onto lap 9, right before we served our penalty, it looks like our teammate Schwartz was actually able to catch up to us. Not really going to fight him, since we are going to serve this penalty as we serve it right here. So we're going to lose time to Schwartz, as well as Trismo and Tyro behind. So on lap 10, we are in P10, and here we go again, making another mistake and making contact with the wall, getting a 1.5 second penalty. I will say this right now, this is not my favorite track. I really don't like it, especially in this car. It's very difficult to get the lap time out. But as we serve our penalty, we are going to lose a position to Trismo, as you see him come flying up on our inside, all the way down into P11. So far, a net gain 1, but we could have gotten so much more. As we hop onto the end of lap 14, onto the beginning of lap 15, we are actually going to come into the pits. As you can see, our front right-hand tire is completely dead. I was thinking about putting on the mediums, but we decided to put on the hards, and looking back at it now, that was the wrong call on the strategy. It was going to be a 2-stop. I should have just stuck with mediums for all of the stops, but on this hard stint, I was very, very lonely. As you will see, from lap 15 to lap 19, not really a whole lot going on, except for this major mistake right here, getting a little too much on the curb, which is going to make the car rotate too much, and try to stay with it, and I make another mistake and have a 1.5 second penalty. just getting it all wrong. And from this point on, from lap 19 to 25, did not see a single other car. But finally, as we come on to lap 25, we have Gypsy coming out behind us, out of the pits. And hopefully we are able to work together to close the gap to the group of cars ahead. But with me being on the hards, it's very difficult with the traction and, you know, the grip, especially through these corners. It's very hard to get the power down as soon as I possibly can. But as you hear on the left hand side, it looks like Gypsy has a pretty good run on us. I think he came out on the medium, so he's going to swoop around the outside. I'm going to try to stick on the inside, but unfortunately it looks like he is going to able to hold us off, as our teammate Schwartz went definitely long on the second stint and came in. Looks like he just had enough fuel. But as we enter the tunnel, we are in P9, hopefully looking for some redemption. And I was really looking forward, or really hoping that this race was going to be mine, because, you know, the main people that have been leading this championship had some major contact and accidents early on in the race. So hopefully I was looking forward to capitalizing on it, but I also made a bunch of mistakes. But we came into the pits in that lap to put on the mediums to take us to the rest of the race. As we come out of the pits, it looks like Tyro is actually going to be behind us, so he's going to come flying around us as he has the speed, and we're actually going to be dead last with 13 and a half laps to go. This was not my best race. Very mistake prone, but gonna redeem it right here. On lap 28, we're going to be looking for a move on Tyro. Looks like he's going to be struggling with a little bit of tire. We do have a lot fresher tires than he does. As we get a pretty decent run out of that turn 2 over the bridge, possibly looking for a move on the inside, but decided to hold off just a little bit. Me and Tyro did start to fight a little bit, but I think we both decided together just to hold off and work with each other to get up into, at least back into 11th and I would say 12th, but or 10th, but our teammate Schwartz is so far gone. And, you know, if you look up at the top right corner of the screen, we were actually almost lapped during this race. But as we come up out of the final turn onto lap 29, we have a car going very slowly in front. It looks like it's going to be Jay Filla. As you will see, I get a pretty good run on a Tyro, but I decide to bump draft him. That way we can work together and hopefully close that massive gap to the cars in front and maybe gain some positions. But as we come out of the first corner, Jay Filla is actually going to be on a very different strategy compared to everyone else. I believe he was on a one-stop strategy, and he was saving a lot of fuel as we possibly look for an overtake on Tyro, but we decided to stick him behind. Looks like he got a better run on us. But yeah, going back to the Jay Filla situation, I believe he was on a one-stop, made a little contact right there before the braking zone, so I decided to jump on the inside, keeping it nice and clean between the two of us, giving each other plenty of space. For someone that came from the lower series, I will give a big shout out to Tyro. He's a very clean racer, and he's pretty decently fast. He was able to keep up with me and all the other guys, so, you know, hats off to him. He did an amazing job stepping up for his team and for the driver that was unfortunately not able to participate. But as you see, we're going to go flying past Jay Filla, and like I said, I do believe he was on a one-stop strategy. I believe he was going like medium or hards to something and saving a bunch of fuel, so so that's a free position right there. But as you look up to the top right-hand corner, there is a humongous gap to our teammate Schwartz, and honestly, I don't think I'm going to be able to pull this out in the last 10 laps, as we have a overtake on our end. Looks like Tyro was able to get onto our outsides and carry the speed through that turn 2 and actually overtake us. At this point, I decided, you know, we're losing a lot of time fighting, so let's just work together. Let's just try to push forward and possibly track down Schwartz. And, you know, the only thought of overtaking him is if he has a mistake or not. But here, give him a little look on the inside, trying to put him under a little bit of pressure, but again, just deciding to stick back and, you know, just work together, because we're in no man's land right now. I mean, it's just me, Tyro, and I would say Jay Philo, but he is so far gone on that one-stop strategy that it's not working for him. So as we come across the line onto lap 31, we got 10 laps left in this race. Hopefully we can make up at least one position. As you can see, big lag spike. That's another thing I don't like about oval racing on GT7 is the lag spikes. They are ungodly and cause a lot of problems and so on and so forth. But as you can see, Tyro makes a pretty big mistake, carrying a little too much speed into the corner, but he was able to stay in front of us. Yeah, I mean, from this point on, it was just me and Tyro just working together, trying to close that gap on Schwartz. And if you keep looking up at the top right corner, it actually looks like Schwartz was able to close the gap to P9 and 10 in that little group of cars right there. But all the way in the back, it's just me, Tyro, and we're having fun. We're giving each other a good race, and you know, you have to find positives out of races like this, as he makes a massive mistake and actually goes into the barrier, which is also going to give him a penalty and lose a bunch of time. But from that point on, I pretty much pulled away from Tyro, just running my own race, trying to gain some time back, but with it being so far gone, I'm just trying to bring the car home right now. Spirits weren't the highest at this point, as we were going very high on that banking corner, playing with the wall and almost getting the penalty. But from that point on, it was just me, myself, and I running my own race. Did close the gap to Rum a little bit, but nothing too major. And actually, I'm not gonna finish this race because the lobby timer timed out before I was able to cross the line. But we are gonna come home in P11. But on that note, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all in the next video.